Hey everyone, this is Andy with Patterson Adjuster Training. In this video, I'm going to show you what 95% of the adjusters out there know nothing about. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video because I have a special announcement. The most common software estimating platform we use as adjusters is Xactimate. It's also used by multiple contractors across the U.S. If you don't understand the software, are you being the best adjuster you can be? Probably not. So that's why I'm making this video, is to make you better. I'm an Xactimate certified trainer, and I can tell you that I don't know of anyone out there that talks about what we're going to talk about today, which is Xactimate yield. And I'm curious, have you ever heard of Xactimate yields? Let me know either way in the comments. So let's jump into Xactimate and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so the two line items I'm going to use as an example is RFG 300 remove, RFG 300 replace. And so if we click on this line item here, first thing we're going to do is go to click for detail, and then you can read these definitions, which if you're new I always encourage you to do that. And even if you have some experience, I would occasionally look at these just because Xactimate sometimes updates these descriptions or definitions as to what it includes. But we're going to go down here to preview, and then here's our assembly information on how this line item is priced, or how this pricing is assembled. So direct yield is what I call perfect world situation. And so we're talking about removing the laminate shingles with felt. And so in a perfect world, if a roofer appeared on a roof with a roofing shovel and they were able just to start scraping shingles off, the direct yield is 1.582 squares per hour. Xactimate bases this on an 8-hour day. So that's perfect world. Now we all know that roofers don't appear on roofs and have everything just perfect. There's things that get in the way of them actually scraping the shingles off. So those activities that take away from production or take away from a roofer tearing off the shingles is called a supporting event. This SPT event percentage is our supporting events. So basically what it's saying is 40% of this direct yield is lost production. When you take 40% production away from the 1.582, then the yield for this is 0.956. Now let's go to our supporting events and see what activities are taking away from the production. So to do that, we're going to go back to our Xactimate, and we're going to go to unit price, which is over here. Then we're going to hit our pricing information box. Now down here at the bottom, you've got these three tabs: definition, assembly information, which assembly information is kind of what we just looked at, and supporting events. So the supporting events is anything that takes away from doing the main activity or takes away from production. Labor assumption is based upon an 8-hour day. So right off the bat, Xactimate is saying, okay, the direct yield that we're talking about, scraping off 1.582 squares per hour, is based upon what a contractor can do in an 8-hour day. Now again, the supporting event are events or activities that are not directly related to scraping shingles off the roof, so it's non-production time. The supporting events would include 5 minutes planning, a total of 60-minute drive time, so 30 minutes each way, 20-minute breaks, 40-minute setup and cleanup of tools, equipment, debris removal, and floor sweeping or vacuuming in immediate workspace, independent of any final cleaning at the end of the job if warranted, and 65 minutes overall loss of productivity from working in a restoration environment. When you're remodeling something or restoring something, it takes longer because you have to tear off the damaged components. There's certain things you have to work around. When you're doing new construction, You don't have to worry about any of that. You don't have to worry about the demo. You don't have to worry about getting things to match. You're just simply putting up everything new. So let's go back to our assembly information. So what this is saying is, in a perfect world, which is direct yield, a roofer should be able to put on 1.582 square per hour. But we've got to factor in other activities that occur during an 8-hour day. And so the contractor, or the roofer, is not able to stand on the roof and scrape off shingles for a full 8 hours. They have other things to do, like driving to the job site, breaks. They have to set up their ladders. They have to take down their ladders. And because of that, your yield is less than 1 square per hour. Now, I call this yield real world. Direct yield is perfect world. Yield is real world. So in the real world, we have other activities that we need to do. So let me give you some real world examples of what a supporting event is. So I was recently roofing a house, and I didn't spend the whole time actually tearing off the shingles and the felt paper, and I didn't spend my whole time putting the underlayment back on and the shingles back on. There was other activities that I had to do that took away from my production. One of the things that I had to do for the tear off was I had to pick up the shingles that were left on the ground and putting them in the dumpster. Now, I understand that the line item that we're looking at, the RFG 300, includes or assumes a contractor has their own dump trailer. In this case, we would use a different line item because I'm using a dumpster. I don't have a dump trailer, so I had to rent a dumpster. But you can see I have other things that I have to do besides tearing off the roof. So another supporting event that applies in the trades is picking up your tools. At the end of the day, I had to roll up the air hose, put the air compressor away. I had miscellaneous tools that I had to pick up and then put in the truck. All of that takes time, and the time I'm spent doing that, I'm not putting shingles on the roof, or I'm not tearing shingles off the roof. One of the other things that is a supporting event is when you get done with a roofing job, you have nails all around the perimeter. Now, most contractors will do a good job of putting tarps down and keeps the debris out of flower beds and so forth. As you can see, I don't have any flower beds on this house that I'm working on. So all of the nails that were on the ground, I use a magnet and roll over the ground and pick those nails up. So doing this takes away from me actually tearing off and putting on shingles. So if we go back to our example, in a perfect world, I could put on 1.5 squares per hour, but because I had to roll up the air hose, I had to pick up shingles off the ground and dump them in the dumpster. I had to roll a magnet over the ground to pick up all the nails. I had some breaks that I took. I was only able to do 0.956 square per hour. So how can this help you? Well, if you understand the yields and what is a supporting event, you may get a supplement from a contractor who's billing you for cleanup at the end of the day, or drive time, or just general hours. Most of that is built in to the individual line item for whatever activity they're doing. So if they're tearing out drywall, then those supporting events are built in. If they're tearing off a roof, as we just saw, those supporting events are built in. So understanding how the line item is built will make you better. So the special announcement that I have is I'm getting really close to getting Adjuster House ready to launch. I should have everything ready in February. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be a 3-day class. We're going to cover basically what you do when you pull up to the property, scoping and writing elevations, the roof, and lots of interior damage. Now you may say, well, I'm a desk adjuster. I don't need to attend that. Well, if you're a desk adjuster, you absolutely need to attend this because you're going to be looking at photos and you have to determine, okay, is this warranted based upon the photos I'm seeing? If you don't understand what's behind the drywall or understand how to repair drywall or how to put texture on a wall, then you're at a big disadvantage when it comes to figuring out if this is an accurate estimate. Or maybe you work for a carrier that you have to do a virtual inspection and then you have to write the estimate. Having been through this class, you'll know the construction side of it and the estimatics side of it, and you'll be a lot better adjuster than those who don't know anything about construction. Because what my goal is with Adjuster House is to marry or to combine or connect the construction piece to the Xactimate piece and make those make sense. Because a lot of times you have somebody who knows a lot about construction but they're weak on Xactimate. Or maybe they're strong on Xactimate but they don't know much about construction. My goal is to make that connection for you at Adjuster House. So if you would like to be on the waiting list to get updates and to get an email when this thing goes live, then I've got a link in the description below. Just sign up and then I will keep you in the loop on things and then let you know when it goes live, including pricing and exactly what the syllabus looks like or the training outline looks like. And if you like videos like this, I would appreciate your support, and you can do that by hitting the like button and the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.